Welcome to the Real CP Show. I'm your host, CP. And today's topic, this violent Anglo male stabs close to a dozen victims at this Walmart in a city in Michigan. And they don't like the spotlight when it's on numbers of males within sections of the predominate culture when they continue to do violent criminality. And people will try to deflect as much as possible to, oh my goodness, the person that was suffering from mental disease. Right? Now, when it's something dealing with the small numbers of black males that have done some things, then it's like, oh my goodness, these black males, these Negro monkey animals, these orangutan dog monkeys, they're always committing criminality. And the rareness that the opportunity for some of those black males is not given of any similar equation for them to have they just suffer from mental illness. You see how that goes. But let me go ahead and share my screen for this first video on this situation. One moment here. All right, let's see here. And it's definitely still a sad thing that this happened, right? Now, what they're not going to also talk about is, say, how many of these, close to a dozen, was Anglos. And will the ones that were Anglos that were victims of this heinous Anglo violent criminality male who juke those innocent people, if all of them was Anglos or most of them was Anglos, will it be called white on white criminality? And what are we going to do about this white on white crime stuff continue to keep happening? No. So I'm going to go ahead and play this.
A community is reeling following a stabbing at a Walmart in Traverse City, Michigan, north of Grand Rapids. At least 11 people stabbed in what authorities are calling a random attack.
I need units inside Walmart, got multiple victims.
New video released shows bystanders confronting the alleged suspect outside the store.
Throw the knife that way! Throw it away! Throw it away!
A man pointing a gun at the alleged suspect, another man demanding he drop the knife, the camera then quickly panning to one of the victims. Officials say the attack erupted near the checkout area. The suspect, a 42-year-old male and Michigan resident. No motive has been determined. For the checkout area, the suspect, a 42-year-old male and Michigan resident. No motive has been determined.
The suspect, who has been identified as 42-year-old Bradford James Gilly of Afton, Michigan, was arrested and transported to Grand Traverse County Jail, where he will remain pending formal charges and arraignment.
Julia Martell was inside the Walmart.
I heard screaming and I went towards the screaming and I saw the guy with the knife shove somebody. And after he shoved him, he was headed in my direction. I was right there. I saw the knife, but I got out of his way in time. And it seemed like all of the people who got stabbed and got attacked were people who couldn't physically get out of his way, like people in wheelchairs.
Authorities say there were no predetermined victims. Walmart releasing a statement saying violence like this is unacceptable and will continue working closely with law enforcement during their investigation.
let me just get right into the other article, right? So you saw that video of this deranged criminality Anglo male who just juke those close to a dozen innocent victims on it, just like that, just out of the blue. And then another one article I came across where they was talking about that they were sitting there trying to charge a person with terrorism. You'd be like, they trying to charge this Anglo male with terrorism for juking these close to 11 victims. You see how that word, even terrorism, has started to be a little generic now, right? But if you say something about black pain toward millions of American blacks, that over generations and generations and generations continue to keep happening, anti-American black uh, 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 people's hatred toward them over and over. And when these hate crimes they keep going up and up and up by certain ones within certain sections of the predominate culture and some other ones, and there are some ones within certain Hispanicism, and there are some ones within certain sections of certain parts of the stereotype Asian, the ones it applies to, who have showed violent criminality to higher numbers of black folks, right? But it's no terrorism then. There's not a lot of hate crimes then, right? You see how that goes. It's a contradiction, right? But if it's a black male who has done some little things here and there a little bit, oh my goodness, they're criminality type people. So let me go ahead and share my screen on this one here. Hold on for a second. This is what I want to show. Hold on, what is this? Give me one moment. Okay, let me just do this one here. Okay, right quick. So real fast. Traverse City Walmart stabbing suspect Anglo male had a history of mental health and legal troubles. Let me say it again. Traverse City in Michigan Walmart stabbing suspect Anglo suspect had a history of mental health and legal troubles. Right? Legal troubles as well. Bradford James Gal, Jill, whatever his name was, the name Anglo suspect in the July 26, 2025 mass stabbing at a northern Michigan supermarket that hospitalized 11 people had been in and out of criminal justice system for decades. Let me read that last part. That this violent Anglo male had been in and out of the criminal justice system for decades. Well then, right? Having cases either tossed or pleaded down to mental health issues, meaning many times. Now, of course, the unequalness of the outcome, right? Of the fairness to be able to have certain number of black males to be considered having mental illness and certain things happening. Oh, no. We can't 900,000% do that. You see how that little hypocrisy go with that. Analysis of court records and archives found. Jal 42 was arrested as being subdued by bystanders who after the violent Anglo male allegedly stabbed 11 people at the Walmart near Traverse City. He was arraigned on one count of felony terrorism and 11 counts of assault with intent to murder in Grand Traverse County. He is due back in August 6, 2025. He pleaded not guilty and requests a court-appointed attorney. Now, if that would have been a black male, oh my goodness, taxpayers' money. Oh my, that's not right for that animal. I don't read most of it. I want to get to the point on some other stuff right quick with this. Where they talking about his mother said something here. Hold on. Oh yeah, I better go back. Gil something has had repeated run-ins with law enforcement and the counts in Petoskey and Emmett County going back to at least 2002. Online court records show an attorney who previously represented Gil something that the recurrent legal issues coupled with court recognized mental health issues. Here we go. See that talking about how many times should have led Gil receiving more formalized treatment. In 2017, after competency hearing, Gil was found not guilty by reason of insanity charge of dismemberment and mutilation of deceased's bodies and malicious destruction of tombs and monuments, court records show. How this person, an attorney who represented Gil in the case, according to the court records, did not return a message seeking comment left July 28, 2025. An affidavit signed by Petoskey Public Safety Department officer said that on April 17, 2016, Gil was arrested at Greenwood Cemetery after attempting to dig up the casket of an individual who became deceased that February. Gil was then tracked to a nearby hotel. He was still able to get in hotels, right? Officers called Chris Gil something. Bradford Gil's father, who informed enforcement his son had told him he had brought a shovel and was going to the cemetery to dig him out of the grave. When officers found Bradford Gil van parked outside the Emmett County Jail, he was questioned. During question, he told enforcement he was concerned about people being buried alive. My goodness. Court records indicate that after Bradford Gil was arrested, he was taken to a psychiatric hospital where he was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. After being found not guilty, a judge ordered him committed to the Center for Forensic Psychiatry in Saline for a period of at least 60 days. Still got out. Aside from 2016 incident, he also had short jail sentences, that's minimizing, fines, and probation over the years after being charged with offenses that include felonious assault, domestic violence, assault with a dangerous weapon, assault and battery, retail fraud, possession of marijuana, and public intoxication, records show. Some charges were pleaded down or dismissed. Boy. Talking about the privilege for the complexion, as some people would say on that. Because imagine if this was vice versa. And does he look like somebody who is good? Apparently not. And looks can be deceiving. We're talking about beyond logical analysis on this. There's one thing, last thing I want to sit there and show. Right. There. Paranoid schizophrenia is an outdated term for a type of schizophrenia, according to the Cleveland Clinic. The condition affects cognitive ability, memory, and senses, and can lead to hallucination, delusion, and general struggles to maintain organized thinking on that. But the point I'm making is that, hold on, let me go back here. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, that's all I want to read this last part here. Hold on, give me 1 moment. A 2007 article in the Petoskey News Review detailed that the perspective of Beverly Gil of Giles, Bradford Gil's of Giles' mother, who said her son's repeated legal issues were a direct result of mental health allowances. How many times you got to keep going through this, right? See the excuses? In the article, Beverly Gil something said her son had been formally diagnosed with paranoid schizophrenia. He's fine when he's on his medication. Beverly Gill told the this news review in 2007, and it's 2025. Look at this kind of stuff the criminality still been doing. The problem is his illness tells him that he is fine and doesn't need to take his medication. He's also been through the mental health evaluation so many times that he knows how to answer the question. And she knows this, right? And she knows this. Again, imagine if that would have been a Black American male that did that, and his mother was making excuses for him. And his father was basically kind of making excuses or really not doing anything either. And the thing about it is, there are numbers of Black people that suffer from schizophrenia, right? And there are numbers of Black folks, Black Americans, that do suffer from mental illness. Many times it's also because of Black pain, right? While border breaker or illegal immigrants get reparations and being picky on food and programs given to immigration type personnel to start up businesses, and however people can go to various schools and stuff like that, and however numbers get subsidies, however numbers get scholarships, and however other people just white collared corporate subsidies. I mean, the list goes on. But Black Americans, people can't seem to find no reparations for Black Americans, right? And again, I'm not talking about coons and sellouts. But at the same time, when you bring up race, they'll tell Black folks ain't no such thing as race, while at the same time you got Black pain that keeps happening daily, right? In those situations, which was primarily going to be white on white criminality, then you have people that do this. Uh-oh. Hold on. Give me a second. Oh, it's not playing right. Let's play this again. Hold on. Oh, why is this not doing that? Give me a second. Oh, give me a second. Why is this not playing? Give me a second. Let me remove that. Add it back. Let me see if it's going to play this time. Okay. No. Why is this not doing that? Give me a second here. Let me see if I can add. Let me try to add this again. Give me one moment here. Give me one moment. Let me see if I can try to add this one last time. Give me one moment here. Let me see if I can give me 1 second. See if I can find this here. Give me one moment here. All right.
Tense rivalry. After all, we all belong to the same race.
How to do that, right? See, then when it's about, give me a second. Let me plug this back on here. I gotta plug something back in here. See, then when it's about personnel, various personnel within various predominate culture, then it's about looking at humanity, right? But when something dealing with Black Americans, then it's, oh my goodness, why do Black people keep doing these kind of things? So this goes, right? But again, when it's concerned certain ones within the predominant culture, then it's, oh, there's so many that suffer from mental diseases, right?
Intense rivalry. After all, we all belong to the same race, the human race.
Yes, that's how many do things.
Intense rivalry. After all, we all belong to the same race, the human race.
Right. See, you see how the contradiction is? So this violent, demonic creature sit there and stabbed almost 12 people at that Walmart in the Detroit city on that situation in Michigan. And he has had legal troubles for almost 20 years and suffered from many mental illnesses for many years. One of those things, he was trying to dig up some people within a grave. The other time he tried to dismember some other body or so. But at the same time, right? Will this sit there and make certain numbers of males within a predominate culture? Will people fear many numbers of males within a predominate culture and call them criminals? Of course not. See the hypocrisy? So let me show this one last thing, this other particular article. This other article, and I'm going to close down the show. This hypocrisy is very real. It's like the situation happened in New York City just recently, right? Where this guy who, it's like he had the, give me a second, let me get this right first here. Oh yeah, here we go. Where you had the guy that, when I think he drove from Nevada or someplace all the way over to Midtown, New York, and the plan, I guess, was trying to go to some kind of NFL place and do whatever he's going to do, and blame Harvard personnel because, you know, he was playing football himself or whatever it is. And for what I read, he was a decent football player. At the same time, maybe he knew some other people that unalived themselves because they had that CTE concussion thing that Harvard numbers of athletes have had and stuff like that, right? But you look at the picture of him, you say, wait a minute, now is that a Black American? No, he's not Black American. Now he maybe has some biraciality. Possibility might be some kind of stereotype version of an Asian and Black, maybe, who knows? He might be some African personnel with a mixture of Asian, who knows? But he's not a regular Black American, right? But you see how that goes. And they trying to sit there and play this little mind sweep thing where they'll put it out, and so they see that darker skin, they try to sit there and say, oh, see, hey, that's Negro violence. But I'm sitting there showing you that this violent Anglo male who stabbed almost 12 people, and he's giving this little humanity treatment, even though he has a long criminality sheet of violence. So this is the last thing I'm going to sit there and show on this part. Oh, give me one moment. Actually, what I wanted to show right quick before I play that last video. After this violent Anglo male sitting there stabbing almost 12 people, that could have ended very badly for them. He gets, give me a second. He was arraigned, appeared virtually for his arraignment, and told the judge, I don't want to talk to you, when he was asked how to pronounce his last name. I've spent some time with his attorney in a virtual breakout room off the record. Gil Ajao returned and entered not plea guilty. When asked to give his address, he was frustrated he had to repeat what he had told his attorney in the break room. He began to speak about a video he had seen on the internet, but the defense attorney cut him off and told him that it could be used against him. All that stuff to say is that the bond was set at $100,000. Cash surety. And he can't use alcohol, marijuana, or legal substances, which that's what he's been doing for years, as it is. Because he's been in and out of mental disease type situations. He's been in and out of the criminality court systems, and they think he's going to sit there and all of a sudden now not use alcohol. He's not going to sit there and use marijuana. He's not going to sit there and use legal substances, right? And he only gets $100,000. And he's a career criminality type person. You see how the unequal, not justice that happens? If this would have been Black American that did that, are they not going to sit there and blame the pocket knives for this? Right? Just like in this situation with the guy, in this situation, there was, you know what, let me just play this particular video, or this little part of the court part. But is how they try to demonize the Second Amendment personnel who believe in that. And you got people that act as if they say gun violence, and they'll sit there and act like it's Black folks doing it, right? But the people who commit the most gun violence and mass shootings is numbers of Anglo males, right? But it's like it still can't compute in various parts of society who does the most mass shootings. right? It can't compute. But they want to sit there and have society, most part of society, just focus on one category, murderous, and act like that is the most gigantic thing and blame Black American males. Even though you look at crime statistics and you see the difference between white and black doing that, it's so small. And how many criminality stats is not sitting there showing what numbers of Anglo males that have done this criminality and stabbed people to death, right? Like the mass shootings and stuff like that. Do they sit there and include that in the crime stats of Anglo males who have done this over and over, and how many have murdered other people like that? Do they put that on crime stats for murder? Of course not. See how that goes, right?
So this is the courtroom with the prosecuting attorney, court appointed, but criminal DC attorney. Okay. Do I have to do this? I just talked to him, it's not gonna hurt you. There's still something to talk to you, okay?
Good afternoon, Mr. Gill or Mr. Gilly. How do you pronounce your last name, sir?
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you.
Okay. Well, we're on the record in case number 25-5222, FY. You're appearing for arraignment purposes this afternoon. We have Miss Dilly, the defense attorney, available record so that she can go over the issues regarding the 5222 FY. So maximum penalties with their questions. Would you please raise your right hand? Thank you. And you swear that the information you're about to give me will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yeah.
Thank you. And you're welcome to lower your hand. Mr. Gilly, do you have a telephone number?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? And what is your mailing address?
I don't really have one right now. It's just my last address on my driver's license. I don't know. I don't get mail there, no.
Okay. Before you came to jail, where were you staying? Where were you living?
Did you just hear what I said to the magistrate and okay, or whatever the person was talking in private?
No, she did not. We were speaking privately, sir.
Was that recorded to share?
No.
Or?
Nobody heard that but you and me.
Okay, so I guess I have to repeat myself. Anyway, is this being recorded now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, I saw a black and white video on the internet about a second traffic drug scheme.
Mr. Gilly, hold on. Please don't talk about that because it can be used against you. Just tell her your last known address, okay? Just tell her your last address that you remember. Thank you.
Do you receive any source of income or assistance?
Yeah,
What kind of income do you get?
SSA.
Do you own a vehicle?
Not anymore.
And do you have any money in a checking account or savings account? Any cash on hand?
Not to give you.
Well, this would be to see if you could hire your own attorney. Do you think you could qualify to hire your own attorney?
Possibly maybe if I save up some money.
But not right now? You don't have enough right this minute?
No.
Okay. So I will appoint an attorney for you. I'm going to remind you that you have the right to remain silent. Anything that you say orally or
How he still was showing humanity. And well, no, it's like, well, they're going to ask him, well, how much money you got? And stuff like that. When I showed in that article, he's a career criminal. He's had already court-appointed attorneys people before, right? And he's obviously a violent person, very violent. But he continues to be allowed to go in and out of the system, right? And then be allowed for other people to say he suffers from mental illness, but at the same time, they continue to keep allowing it to happen. And so then now recently he just stabbed almost 12 people. But again, right? Humanity.
Intense rivalry. This intense rivalry. After all, we all belong to the same race, the human race.
Right? When it's about certain ones within certain parts of predominant cultures, we're the human race, right? But when it's some black people that's done some not so good things, and it's oh no, those Negroes not part of the human race. They're this criminality type people. So I just want to do a quick one showing this because it is essential to have what I call a timepiece purpose on this, because as more numbers of Anglos commit more criminality type things, right? And some other cultures too, what is going to be the excuse, right? I thank you for tuning in to the Real CP Show.